up guys, welcome to your Fitness Pal and pay attention. 4.5 years ago, exactly, we met Devon Larratt, one of the most impressive arm wrestlers of all time. Boom!
Oh yeah!
But 2 years ago he lost to this guy named Levan, when they had the craziest arm wrestling match of all time. Now the first round went like that. And out of 6 rounds he eventually lost all 6 of them. But he didn't just lose the fight. Something happened in round 2. After the second round, Devon started walking and he felt something strange in his arm. He did this motion with his arm and also the commentators talked about it.
There is something wrong. He's checking his arm.
And from then on, and a lot of people don't know about that, round 3 to 6 were entirely different. So what happened to it? And why did his arm look like that right after the match? That's the answer. Watch till the end. So 5 years. 5 years ago we've met Devon and arm wrestled him, and he was so strong that at a certain point we had to use both arms, and even that almost wasn't enough. He's super strong, super experienced, and been through thousands of matches. But this match was against a guy that weighed almost 50 kilos more than him. Devon weighed 130 and Levan weighed almost 180. Now, if 2 people train and both of them, for example, have 50% muscle of their entire body mass, then the heavier one will have more muscle mass. Because 50% of 130 is lower than 50% of 180. Meaning, given 2 individuals are training at the same time and one is significantly heavier than the other one, he will probably be stronger, and that's also probably due to a higher muscle mass, and it has a significant impact during a fight. But what about the match and what happened according to the anatomy? Let's review. At the first round we can see that Devon at a certain point opens back. At the second round he also goes to the same position, but that's it. At the third round he leans forward and keeps his arm closer, and from then on till the rest of the match he always comes forward here, but not here anymore. But why? And what happened at the second round? 1 second. Round 1. After the first match, even though Devon lost, he thought he was onto something. He also made sure to go to Levan's corner and tell it to him, to his face. But at the second round, everything was over. And you could also see on Devon's face that something happened. So what happened to him? Anatomy. So, do you see this guy? We've received hundreds of messages about what happened to him. So both of his bicep tendons in both arms were torn. Yeah, not a picnic. That's a distal tear of the bicep tendon. Or in layman's terms, if the biceps connects here, then not anymore. But why did it happen? So according to the anatomy, the biceps brachii, which is a 2-headed muscle, originates in 2 places here at the top. Each head has its own origin, and then they fuse together to insert here. And by the way, we have data that shows that some biceps have 3, 4 and even a 5th head. Now, the guy tried to hold back to resist as the weight went down, to contract the biceps as it lengthened. And that's, according to studies, the mechanism for those types of tears. And because the tendons detach from the bone, the muscle bellies go up. Now, it will probably not happen to you. First of all, this injury is super rare. Second of all, less chances that it will happen to you if you don't overload too heavy, too fast, too soon. And third, it won't happen to you if you subscribe to the channel. But what does this have to do with Devon? In the second round, as you can see, Devon was in the same situation. He was trying really hard to flex his elbow while supinating, as the weight, which in this case is Levan, pulled him down. Therefore, his biceps was forcefully stretched. But when we look back, we don't see a tear. It's not like in this video where you can see the muscle belly go up. So, what happened? So, do you see this? This is the arm of the last viewer who didn't push the subscribe button. And second of all, that's your forearm. You have here 2 bones and your biceps muscle connects to this point. But recent studies show that the biceps tendon doesn't necessarily insert in one place. Rather, the long head of the biceps inserts here and the short head inserts right here. And therefore, because his muscle didn't pop back like here, it was probably a partial tear. Or a partial tear that just involves one of the heads, and probably the short head that locates here on the inside. We also have studies that show a tendon rupture while the other tendon is still attached. And option 2 is a partial tear at the muscle belly. Do you see that? The mark that you see here is called ecchymosis, when there's blood and change of color beneath the skin. And that can happen due to a tendon rupture or a muscle tear. Now here at the infamous round 2, we don't see something unusual happens at the biceps belly area, and that's why it's probably a tear in the short head of the biceps brachii. And that's what's also Devon thinks himself.
I am convinced that it was a muscle tear.
These two scenarios most likely occurred. Most likely. Without an MRI scan that looks like that, we can't be sure 100%. Now, round number 3. Now Devon was right after the injury took place. And because the mechanism of the injury is contracting the muscle as it lengthens, every stretch of the muscle can cause a lot of pain. And this is why right after the competition, Devon kept his elbow flexed. This is why at rounds 3, 4, 6 and 5, he had to keep his muscle at a shortened position so he won't aggravate the pain and worsen the situation. This is one of the reasons that at the first rounds, he's open and in this position, and in later rounds, he's closing himself up. Anatomically and physiologically, the body will be more susceptible to injury in these positions. Now, when will you recover from this type of an injury? 9 days post-injury, and Devon is already practicing lightly, but he was in a rehab state. He increases the tolerability of his muscles, tendons, and even ligaments. There was a study that showed that the cross-sectional area of the ACL and PCL ligaments in the knee increased significantly more in those who weightlifted compared to those who didn't. And both groups were at the same age, without a notable difference in height and weight. Now, cross-education. Another option for improvement and rehab for those who got injured in these specific situations is to exercise with the uninjured limb, because you can't overload the other limb. And due to that, the injured limb can also become stronger. And that is called the cross-education effect. Now, the data show us that the muscle mass increase at the injured limb will be negligible, while the strength increase will be more significant. Although the non-functioning arm is non-functioning. Now Devon is completely recovered and yesterday had the second match against Levan. No spoilers from us. You can watch it yourselves. We wish Devon the best of luck, and we wish you to understand how things work. That you can do by subscribing to the channel, sharing this video and smashing the like button. Write down here in the comments which video you would like to see next, and we will see you at that video that will probably be crazier than this one. Bye bye.